All right, guys, welcome to this webinar on how to 10x your Amazon brand management efficiency and improve your account performance with ad tactics. So ad tactics is our newest tool for Amazon brand owners. And I'm going to go over kind of a top 10 hit list here in sequential order. We're going to start off by talking about how this new ad tactics tool just really helps with efficiently aggregating all of the Amazon-centric data along with your advertising data, search query performance report data, search term summaries, all the sorts of keyword-rich information that is super powerful for managing your brand. We're going to go over consistent workflow and kind of how this tool has a systematic way to improve your brand's performance over time built into it. This new tool definitely has a keyword-rich focus to it. There's a whole new ad tactics dashboard that we're going to be covering in this video that it was built specifically for optimizing your rank across all the important keywords in your account. Works hand in hand with our Keyword Dominator Boosted tool as well. So we're going to go over some demos in this video on how those two work together. We're going to go over various keyword harvesting options and features that we've integrated into ad tactics. And my personal favorite's the bulk campaign creation tool that is now built in. The quick PPC audits that you can do, the bid management. We've really improved kind of the optimization engine and added some new functionality that's going to be really powerful for everybody. The wasted ad spend reduction tools, and then we've got some pretty cool new strategic SOPs and in-app how-tos that I'll show you. And then we'll end it off with some more advanced features that I think everybody's really going to like. All right, so without further ado, let me show you how easy it is in ad tactics just to get the data into the tool. So when you're talking about your Amazon PPC, this tool is going to use the bulk operations platform. I'll throw a screenshot up here on what that looks like. But if you've had any experience with Amazon bulk sheets or bulk operations, it's known as, then you'll know what I'm talking about. So I'm actually going to do an example here of just how easy this tool is to set up. In some of our other tools, we've had kind of an onboarding process that is a bit time consuming, and this one is just a lot more user friendly and easier to use. There is a ton of kind of new options and features that we have on the settings tab here, but what I'm going to talk about real quick is this supplemental reports hub. So we've got a bulk sheet that we're going to import right now, and this is just something that you would import anytime you want to optimize your bids. So you're going to get a FBA Excel Tools folder that automatically gets installed, and you'll have some subdirectories there. So I've got kind of a test file here. I'm just going to import that guy. So you insert new sheet, import data. And while that's loading, you'll see here, you can see these check boxes next to my sponsor product search term, sponsor brand search term, brand analytics, my impression share for sponsored products and sponsored brands. Then we also have some Helium 10 rank files. We just imported our Amazon Ads bulk file right here. For the download supplemental reports, what it's essentially going to do is open us up when we click this button to Amazon and take us right to the place where we download these from Seller Central, and then you're going to drop those into your Google Drive folder. We've just got a kind of centralized Google Drive folder. Again, I'll throw a screenshot up here. But once you have all the files like you see here, it becomes really easy to import them into the tool, and that's really what I wanted to illustrate in this video. So all you'll do is come up here, hit Import Supplemental Reports, auto import the reports, and what it's going to do here, it's going to run a script in the background. I'm going to hit yes, and it's just going to automatically bring in all this data. And if you can envision, anytime you're going and using ad tactics, you'd want to go and get some new data from Seller Central, save those into your Google Drive folder, and then you just come up there and automatically import it. And it's going to import everything kind of in the background. You're not going to really see the data, but you can see as they come in, it's telling you if they successfully came in or not. So we do have some kind of special file name codes, which you'll notice on the Google Drive file names that you name them. And I've also got some advanced features here. You can check this little box, the import file move mode, and that'll actually move used files from one folder structure to another. That way you can always kind of have a empty folder to drag new files into. All right, and then once your data is imported and you've got your bulk sheet in there, all you need to do is come up and click the Sync All Data. And this is going to take our new bulk sheet files and tabs that we've imported along with kind of the new data that we've just imported from Seller Central. do some stuff in the background really fast and kind of combine it all together to make it really useful. You can see there it's pulling in a list of our SKUs and ASINs. That's coming over from our sponsored products campaigns files. And then we're going to get a finished script here in just a second when it's done. And we're ready to rock. And so we're going to hit OK. And that is pretty much it. We've got now all the data ready to use. That took under a minute to kind of go from start to finish. All right, so from a consistent workflow standpoint, you can see we've kind of outlined the menus here. If we click on each one of them, you can see this first menu is going to be dealing with kind of keywords and the new ad tactics dashboard. You've got different keyword harvesting tools. In addition to, we can bring in our keyword dominator boosted reports, which I'll show you that. We've got a brand new built out optimized PPC menu with a lot of new features and upgrades. The wasted spend reduction menu. We've got dupe checkers, poor performer filters. We've got tools that deal with your search term reports where you can bulk negate and do a lot of fancy things. Then we've got the bulk campaign builder. Let's jump in now to the ad tactics dashboard, and we're actually going to go over some examples here. So I'm going to hop over to the dashboard now, and it's going to be blank when we first start here, but we're going to fill it in really quick. So I'm going to make it a little bit smaller so you can actually see it. And the first thing you'll notice is we've got some different panes here that we can enable. You can see I've got all the dark colored black ones enabled right now. These gray ones haven't added yet. They're going to be coming here in the future weeks. But you can see if I scroll over to the right, we've just got some different sections here that I'm going to show you a quick demo of how kind of all this fits together. All right, so the first list of keywords that I'm going to add into ad tactics is actually going to be from our keyword dominator boosted tool. And if you come to bulk actions, once you've kind of dumped in all the information into keyword dominator, there's a bulk action for ad tactics that I have selected here. And all you'll do is just click this button right here, and it's going to actually save a special report. You can come back now, and once that's saved, we can go to File, Import, and you'll be able to replace the data at selected cell. All right, and you can see it just brings it right in there. We've got our priorities there as well if we add some set. And what we can do is with each import, we can actually update the ad tactics dashboard with this button here. So we're just going to click that, hit yes, and you're going to see if any of the data is already in our search query performance reports. It's going to populate here. You can see some of it starting to come in. If we've added any of these keywords to our Helium 10 organic rank tracker and imported that during the initial import we went over, it's going to pull that in as well. So it's just going to kind of update and optimize everything for us here so we can really assess all the data. So this brought in the keyword dominator report. You can see it's tagged as KDB for keyword dominator. Now let's also bring in our search query performance report keywords, and this is just based on, I think I've got like 4 weeks or 5 weeks worth of search query performance reports. So you can just come up here, hit SQR keywords, and it's going to go to a hidden sheet in the tool and kind of bring all that data in, and it's going to send it down to the bottom here. You can see there it just brought it in, and it's actually going to update everything for us kind of in line. So you can see all that's updating there. It's bringing in our search query performance report information as well. These aren't from keyword dominator, so that's why this data right here is blank right now. But all right, so there we go. And we're going to scroll over now, and I'll show you some of my favorite sections here. We'll go over this search term report integration here in just a second. But what this section here is actually showing us, and we're going to have this for sponsored display and brands as well very soon, but it gives us in the green all of our current active PPC metrics for every keyword here in our bulk file. So it's using this sponsored products campaign sheet to show us this information. And you've got in the green kind of all the match types combined. The blue, though, is broken out for all our single keyword exact campaigns. And that's super powerful because you can really focus in, if you use a lot of single keyword campaigns, on the performance of those keywords, as well as we've got an active checker here. So it's going to tell us, do we have this keyword active in a single keyword exact, in just a regular exact, in a broad phrase, ASIN targeting campaign. So that's really powerful there because you can throw keywords into this list and just update it and see if you're already targeting them. If so, then you can just kind of leave them there for monitoring. And if you're not targeting them, we'll show you here in just a second how you can quickly add campaigns using this integrated campaign builder. So really slick set of tools here. Now, what I'm going to show you is another kind of third way to add new keywords to the tool, and it's going to be using the search term reports. So that's what this section here does. Essentially, you've got, since we imported our sponsor brands and sponsor product search term reports automatically, you've got that data now in the background of this tool. So what we can do is just come back here, and you may have kind of a default criteria you like. Let's say you want anything 30% ACoS or under, and then orders, let's do like 3 or more, something like that. You could also, we've got the search term impression share information as well. So we've got a criteria here you could set. So if you want to see, anything with a score of like 2 or greater for your search term impression rank, you could do that. I'm going to leave both of these checked to see if I have search terms in my sponsor products and brands that kind of meet this criteria. But all we need to do is come up here and do search terms, filter search term reports. All right, you can see a little prompt kind of pops up there. I'm going to hit OK, get a finished script. Now we can hop over here and we can see that it's filtered our list, and you can see we've got some additional columns here as well in our search term report. So this is just your run-of-the-mill search term summary report from Seller Central, but during that sync all process that we did, when we click this button, it added some special columns here where this one's going to tell us if it's in a single or multi-SKU or ASIN campaign. Here's the actual ASIN that's getting targeted. Here's our search term impression rank. If we had any negations for these search terms, they'd show up in this column here. But what's really important for this kind of harvesting thing we're doing here is we want to come over here and just select the keywords that we want to move over to our tactics dashboard. So you could filter manually some further criteria if you wanted, but I'm going to pretend that we just want all these. And if they're already on the tactics dashboard, they're not going to get moved, but they're just going to move the ones that aren't currently. So we're going to go back here and hit push to add tactics and let it kind of do its thing here. So I hope you guys are getting this and can see how powerful, just from a brand manager standpoint, these kind of quick access point and click operations are, as opposed to manually downloading all your data, importing it, not sure where to put it. It's just kind of doing everything for us really, really fast, really efficient, and in a well thought out manner, and it only gets better from here. All right, so we got our finished script there. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom and see if we didn't have any of these. So I'm just going to go all the way down, and you can see it actually did pull in. Okay, we got one. All right, so we had the others already in there, but you can see it actually copies over the metrics at that point that we moved them over and just stores them here for historical purposes. And if we don't want to see this section for whatever reason, you can always hide it like that and just click the view icon there, and it's just going to hide it for us, so we don't have to worry about that. So the whole purpose of the Ad Tactics dashboard is really just to almost force the user to think through his keywords and what are you ranking for right now, figure that out. What are the next keywords that you want to deploy into campaigns, kind of plan that out. So you can use the tag column, the notes column. There's some other hidden columns here. We're going to have some custom kind of features and areas that you can add your own metrics and calculated things. So, but yeah, the idea is really kind of a one-stop shop and central location for all this data that's important from a keyword standpoint. So hopefully that makes sense. You've got your keyword dominator pane here, just to kind of go through them real quick. Brand analytics data, if you have your ASIN is ranking and in kind of the ballpark for your brand analytics top 3 spots, it's going to show up there. Your search term impression share and rank, you've got all your search ASIN level search query performance data there for all of those. So that's super powerful. That's straight from Amazon. You can actually click on any row here and go up here to search query report history, and that's going to actually bring it up here into this top section and give you kind of more of a detailed view. So you can see your past whatever 5 days, and then if you hover over here, it'll show you even more if you've got it in there. So that's pretty nice. And then you've got this section over here we already covered briefly. Now I didn't cover this audit section up here. This is a really slick new feature, which I'll show you here in just a second. I want to go over the actual bulk campaign builder tool, because this is my favorite one. So what you'll do is come up here to use that, and I'm going to click this just clear filter button and hit yes. This is just going to kind of redo our table filter and put a sort around it there. So that did that for us. Now what I'm going to do is, let's pretend that I want to go and make sure I'm at least targeting in single keyword campaigns what Amazon is telling me kind of are my best keywords at this point. So I'm going to go back to my search query rank, and I'm going to actually put a condition and show me anything. Let's do 4. So again, this is multiple ASINs here, and these are the top kind of 4 keywords for each one that we've imported into the tool. And I'm going to scroll over now and kind of look at my active checker here, and you can see I'm already missing out. I don't have them in single keyword campaigns that are active right now. So I'm just going to filter this and show me just the ones that are blank, because these are the ones I want to actually add single keyword campaigns to. You can see I've got some in multi keyword exact campaigns, but not in the single keyword campaign. So let's go ahead, and for the fun of it, we can filter these out a little bit further, and we'll put these now all in single keyword campaigns. So to do that, all you literally have to do is check these boxes. And in this column here, we're going to put a unique identifier. So if we want them all in individual single keyword campaigns, you're going to put a 1, a 2, and then you can actually select them like this, drag it down. So this is going to make 15 single keyword campaigns. Similarly, how we just did this, we could do the exact same thing. We could put all these in phrase campaigns if they weren't yet. This one's in abroad. We don't have any in phrase right now. So you could do something like that if you just wanted to put those in phrase, and you could put them in multiple, you could put multi-keyword phrase campaigns by doing this type of deal. So hopefully that kind of concept makes sense. All right. Then once you're ready to kind of build out all those campaigns, literally all you have to do is come up here and hit create PPC campaigns. So I'm going to hit keywords, and you're going to see it's going to automatically populate all of our keyword information, all of our SKU information. We've got some default kind of nomenclature here, which I'll show you how to use the custom campaign namer here to change that out. All right, I hope you guys are seeing how powerful this is, because that's pretty badass if you ask me. All right, so now we're going to go back in the custom campaign naming tool. So you can see here we've got single keyword mode enabled. We've got kind of an order set for both our campaign names and ad group names. This needs to be set and kind of dialed in before you actually do the step I just did, but we'll pretend this is kind of what we want. And I'm going to go back now to bulk campaign builder, and we can come up here. Now there's a kind of supplemental menu out here for your bulk campaign builder. We could also at this point add some additional campaigns manually if we wanted, using this 4 steps, but right now we're kind of at step 2 since we've already added some. And to update the custom names, literally all you have to do is hit that button, and you'll see it's going to swap out where it says ASIN, where it says SKU. It's going to actually swap out our information. And then once we've kind of got everything dialed in, or we could leave the names how they are right now, we could tweak them a little bit. We could add negations as well. There's a lot of more advanced things you could do. You can add portfolios, stuff like that at this point, but I'm not going to worry about any of that. I'm just going to come down here and hit create campaign upload file. All right, so there's our campaign upload file all ready to upload to Amazon. You're just going to go back to the Bulk Ops Manager. I'll flash a little screenshot here and upload the file. The upload file, you actually click this button here and it sends it to Google Drive automatically for you, and you can just find it from that location when you go to upload it. So how easy is that, guys, of creating new single keyword campaigns? We also, I didn't show it, but we created a few multi-keyword campaigns. I'll scroll over. We're at the end there, so you can see it added multiple keywords in those guys. It totals up everything for us, gives you a nice summary. Really, really slick. And obviously then as you upload them, the next time you bring in your bulk file and update your tactics dashboard, then all of these that we've just added will show in this active checker. So the next time you want to add keywords to campaigns, these will be filled in and you can use the filters accordingly. So super powerful. I hope you guys are getting this, just how powerful that step and sequence I just went over. My second favorite kind of tool of the new ad tactics is the quick audit. So to do a quick audit, we're just going to click this button here, and it's going to actually give us an ASIN level, really detailed, broken out by match type audit of how our current account is doing. So, and there you go. All right, so what this is showing us, if we look at it, it's got kind of an overview. So this first section is going to be all the placements together, while the second tile and third tile is broken out. So you got your top of search, your product pages, and then over to the right, you've got kind of a target summary. And then what you can do further now is actually select from a drop down and see at the ASIN level how these products are doing. So, and it actually splits it out by your placement as well. So you can just really get a quick kind of bird's eye view of all of your metrics broken out by match type. You've got kind of the match types here as well. You've got some advanced search criteria here that you can kind of do if or type things if you want to search for just certain keywords. So what I want to jump into now is we've talked a lot about the ad tactics tool. I think I've given you a pretty good rundown of all of these. Yeah, we've covered all of those. The bid optimization, though, we've really improved the functionality and just the performance. We've added some new bid algorithms as well. So those are available for use. But just to kind of give you a really quick example of the typical process, what you'll do, we've already got our bulk file information in here. Obviously, if you're not familiar with bulk files, it's probably going to be a little bit information overload, but you've got all your sponsored product campaign informations here. Similarly, your sponsored brands and display are in these two tabs. We're not going to worry a whole lot about that right now. We're just going to come up here. I want to see now all my enabled targets, and this filter here actually sorts it by orders. You could similarly do this with revenue, but I'm just going to show you how to do a really quick Cradle analysis here. So you're going to come up, and now that script's done, I'm just going to select this column here. You can see down here, if I change this to sum, I've got about almost 1,800 orders. So the idea is you could take, figure out what like 80% or so of that is, but I'm just going to look at here at like a quick glance and see anything 10 orders or more. Let's say that's going to be 80%, and we'll grab this column A is a unique identifier in all three of these sheets. And what we can do with this is, instead of assigning bid criteria to literally all of the targets and force them to kind of be governed by the same bid criteria, we can override certain ones which we really want to pay close attention to. And to do that, I'm just going to copy this unique identifier cell and go over to this tab here that if you've used Apex, you'll be very familiar with what you're looking at here. But this is the bid override table in Apex, but it's souped up quite a bit. So I'm going to hit Control-Shift-V to paste the values. They turn yellow because we haven't assigned bid inputs yet. And because these are target level overrides, because that's what I copied from my sponsored products file, I'm just going to copy that, drag it down. Similarly, how I did a target level override, you can also do campaign level overrides or portfolio level overrides. So some people, if you have all of your campaigns for a certain ASIN organized in a portfolio, you could just as easily plug in the portfolio name here. You can see we've got the valid inputs. You can put the campaign name or portfolio name in this cell and then tag it as such. And then we'll be able to assign bid input settings, which actually get done over here in this section here. So if I scroll up to the top, and this is, I don't want this to turn into a kind of really detailed bid setting lesson. So I'm just going to kind of copy these as my generic bid setting criteria here. So Control-Shift-V, paste the values. This is literally assigning all of these targets this same bid input setting criteria. But what you're going to do now is just click this kind of update button, and it's going to pull in all the metrics now from our file. And what you can do in this one as well is you can overlay sponsored products with sponsored brands, sponsored display, and get all of the data at once, where in our previous tools, you'd only be able to see one at a time. And it'll actually show you, where the information's coming from in this column here. So that's super powerful. You also see some ad tactics overlaid information coming in. You've got a lot of custom columns here that we can add even more information if you want to see that from the ad tactics dashboard. But the idea is this bid override table works hand in hand with your ad tactics dashboard to manage rank. And this is a one-stop shop now here to manage your bids. So you've got all the target level bid information here, which you can use to make decisions by. You've got a bid preview setting here that takes into account all the target level performance metrics of all of these targets in combination with our bid input setting criteria here that we've just specified. And you similarly how we did the Pareto analysis on our kind of top 80% of our targets, we could also do something similar for the ones that are performing well from a conversion rate standpoint. So if we go back to our settings tab here, you'll see there's some conversion rate filters here. We've got placement filters. We actually got one called top targets that you can specify kind of an order threshold and an ACoS threshold. The idea here is you can use the filters then to pick out these targets that otherwise it would take you a long time and you really wouldn't have any rhyme or reason or structure to kind of go through your account and figure out. But we just hit this button here, and this is now showing us anything with a decent conversion rate. I think we had 8%, so I should probably bump that up higher. But let's pretend now I'm going to sort Z to A, and I think I grabbed 10 or more. So let me just grab any that have 9 or less orders here, and we'll move a few more over to the bid override table. And it's going to pull in the information there. We don't have our bid input setting criteria yet, so I'll just drag that down. All right, you can see that goes away. Now we can update our bid preview there. And this tells us, based on this bid input setting criteria, what our bid would be. If you see a range here, it means you've got a placement modifier on here. So this is a 25% modifier. That's why you get this 2.05. So again, the way the bidding works is it's going to use a formula in combination with the target level metrics of each keyword, which you can actually see right here. And it's going to recalculate and optimize your bid accordingly. All right, so once you're comfortable, you're just going to come up here and you can either optimize all 3 ad types together, or if we're just doing sponsored products, you can come up here. Depending on the bid formula you're using, you would want to click the correct one. We're using the Apex formula right now, so I'm just going to click that button there. And you'll see it's going to hop back over to our bulk file. And we've got a column AF here, which says new bid. And you'll see now that there's some difference between some of these. Some of them are just really minute, but some of them can be a little bit bigger range. And what you can do is there's a lot of advanced kind of features here, but there's one that's called review bid changes. So you can come up there, click that. It's going to kick out kind of a new column here on the far left. And that's going to show you the difference between your old bid and your new bid, and it's actually going to sort it for you, I think, as well. Once you've created that final optimization file that we just created, uploading it to Amazon's as simple as you're going to come in here and export it to Google Drive. Depending on if you have some campaign level negations or draft campaigns, there's a few things that Bulk Sheets doesn't support. So we've got just some quick buttons you can click there and they automatically remove them. Click those before you actually create your output file. And then these output files are what you upload back to Amazon. And then all of your bids will be optimized per the kind of new calculated bid. So super simple and easy to understand. Then the next optimization sequence that you go through, you literally just delete these green tabs down here because we don't want the old ad information in there anymore. We want a new bulk file to get imported with the new data, and then we're going to go through the same process. So 2 to 3 times a week is a good frequency to get started with this. And as you start analyzing the data and recognizing trends, you'll develop a strategy that's working well for you. So in addition to obviously finding the really good keywords, optimizing your bids, the other component to ad tactics is reducing wasted ad spend. So we got that in a separate menu up here. You can see a few of the features are related to the bulk sheet filters. So we can click this one here and it's going to show us any duplicates in our account. If you've got kind of keyword cannibalism going on where you potentially could be bidding against yourself. I don't think I actually have any in this example file. We'll see here in just a second. All right, so what it does is it just figures out if you've got any that are enabled that are the same. So you can see here, both of these are just dummy data ASINs, but they are the same. So what you would do is just go down through and you could pause them at the keyword level, which is right here. So you just literally change these 2 cells to paused. And then when we create our upload file, we would not be bidding against ourselves on those anymore. All right, so that can be helpful, especially if you've got a ton of them. The other one is the poor performer checker. So what this does is it uses the criteria back on our settings tab. So it's actually under Stoptimizer limits, but it's going to perform this filter at the targeting level as opposed to the search term level on our search term reports, which we've got a Stoptimizer tool which actually does it on the search term reports. So hopefully that kind of differentiation makes sense. But essentially it's looking at everything that Amazon doesn't like. So they don't like it when you have really high impressions with a bad click-through rate, high spend, no orders, high clicks, no orders. You don't like that as well because you're going to be spending a lot and not getting any results. But those are the ones that can hurt your, your conversion rate, your performance overall. So we want to take care of those. What you'll do is just go into, each one of your files. You can do that. You do that independently, and come up here. I'm actually going to, just to show you how some of these other filters work, you can hit this clear all. It's going to revert it back to the original state. All right, and then we can go up here, hit poor performers, and we'll see if we've got any that meet our poor performer criteria. Let's say for this one, the spend is our $10 is our threshold. We could just come in here and you would pause that guy right there, and then you wouldn't be spending that elevated cost over time, and hopefully help you kind of conserve some budget. All right, so for the search term reports, we're going to actually use the same filter criteria we looked at on the settings tab with the 3 different thresholds, but we're going to run the filter on our search term reports now. So we got our sponsored products search term report and our sponsored brands, which that has on our sponsored brands has our video ads plus our headline search ads. But the sponsored products one, which we'll use in this example, I'm just going to come up here, hit run Stoptimizer. You'll see it's actually going to throw a filter down here in the currency tab and tell us if any of those meet the criteria. So we've got, I don't know, 15 or so. Now we've got some here that are already being negated. So because that's what we're doing in this process, I'm going to just deselect those. I'm going to select now this checkbox. And one other thing you can see, some of these are multi-ASIN campaigns or multi-SKU campaigns. So that's not as helpful because you don't know exactly which product that this search term was getting fired for. So you'd want to probably go through and manually look at these to make sure that they're not hyper relevant to one of your products that you're testing or something like that before you just kind of go and do this across the board. But still a good practice, especially in like your broad phrase auto campaigns. All right, and I'm going to move these now to our bulk negate tool by clicking that button. All right, you can see we've got those there. We could similarly add sponsored brands kind of in line to this. And what you do here is you just pick the type of negation you want to do. So if you want to do like an exact match, if it was an auto campaign, you would pick this other one, then you've got negative phrase. But we'll just do this for example. Once you've kind of dialed in all the bulk negations you want to do, you just come up here, hit create negative upload file. And similarly how we build out our bulk campaigns, it builds out a bulk negate file. So I'm going to hit yes to override existing data. All right, and you can see a new file pops up here and we get everything populated with our campaign and ad group IDs. And then we've got everything we need now to create our export file and then upload it back to our bulk campaign manager. And then the next time we download our bulk file, all of these search terms will be negated in the relevant campaign, so we won't be wasting ad spend on them. So hopefully you guys, I know I keep saying this, but are seeing the power in this. If you're a brand manager or just a seller in general that's struggling to really systematically operate your account, I really don't think there's any better tool out there that is as efficient and kind of dialed in with all the right data in all the right places. So super excited to kind of get this out there and get your guys' feedback. But before I chime off here, I did want to show you a few other things. We do have new SOPs and kind of in-app how-tos for all of the menus and all of the features. So you're just going to click up here and you'll get a sidebar that is really slick because you can keep it open while you're using the tools and kind of go between the different menus and still read everything and scroll down, and it's going to kind of update and let you follow along. So that's really, really powerful. We've got that for all the menus, and we're going to have some more advanced SOPs as well that are more strategic and really give you some step-by-step instructions on how to optimize your account and what to do. So there's that. And then there's one other feature I wanted to cover is kind of a grand finale, and that's the new Target Sniper 60-day. So if you're familiar with Apex, we had a 20-day, and it's by far the most powerful feature of Apex. And in this one, we beefed it up to 60 days. So I'm going to run through how to kind of use that really quick. So you just come up to File Import. I'm going to go to my FBA Excel Tools, Ad Tactics, and I've got a 60-day targeting report. So you're just going to import that. Of all the reports in Seller Central, this is definitely the most data rich. It literally has every metric for every keyword in all of your campaigns for every day. and that's for the past 60 days. So we are coming out with an Excel version of this tool as well. That's going to be really nice for the bigger brands. All right, so with this, literally all you have to do, come up here to our optimized PPC. We're going to go to the bid override table. I didn't cover these, but they're similar to some of the features on the bid override table. And you're going to hit initialize target sniper. And this just runs a very quick optimization here on this file. Hit OK. And then we're going to come back up and click on launch target sniper. It says it's locked on. Hit yes. All right. And boom, there you go. So we've got all of our daily keyword metrics now in line with all of our other bid override table information. So hopefully you can start to see the power of figuring out what you're wanting to bid, figuring out what's doing well in your account, focusing on this, focusing on the information that you see right here, and scaling your account. And then what you can do, use the target sniper to really dial in, and you can say, okay, over the past 60 days, let me look and see when these are really performing at their best and try to figure out what the heck was going on. So you can actually double click any of these, and it's going to give you CPC, order spend, ACoS, impressions, click-through rate, conversion rates. If you've got your Helium 10 rank data that we sync to the ad tactics for these specific targets, if you've got target level override specified, it'll show you organic rank and sponsor rank over time. There's also a way to inline notes into this kind of cell by cell. So this is really a cheat code, if you ask me. This is actually one of the favorite features of all of our users as far as really getting insights into how their keywords are performing. And what you'll notice is sometimes the stars will align and you'll have a streak where it just does really well, and usually there's a reason. A lot of times it's the placement you're getting or maybe some seasonality factors, but usually you can use this data and figure out what the heck's going on, which is really, really slick. And the other thing I didn't show you is the placement metrics. You've got all of this information on top of search, product pages for all of your target level overrides, same deal. If you pull in campaign level overrides, it'll show you this information because your product page and top of search metrics are at the campaign level, not the target level. But if you want to optimize your placements as well, you can do that. So, all right, guys. So hopefully this demo does the new ad tactics tool justice. I think it's really next level and it's really going to help a lot of sellers. So guys, if you want to get started using ad tactics, I can absolutely promise you right now when you're watching this is the lowest entry cost it's ever going to be at. The price is only going to go up. My advice would be do not wait, get involved. That's what I'm looking forward to. I hope you guys are as well. Head over to fbaexcel.io and get started today. Cheers.